Today, we will talk about one of the most well-known person that changed not only the way to interact about the world, but also change the way we act today. His man, his name is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is changed the world, changed the way, the mode of action routinely. Well, he was born in. So let's take the fast glimpse about his lifetime. First, he was born in the 1955 in the California area. There's also the infancy of the Silicon Valley. When he turned to 14, he get on with the Steven Wozniak, which is an electronic whiskey. His friend is built to start up to get take into account an electronic equipments like electronic personal computers. At 1975, Stephen Wozniak started to design this electronic device. At that time, nobody has their own computer in their home. Actually, the personal. Well, at this time, Job is turned to 20. He was very young, but had a short business brain. He convinced his friend Wozniak to build a personal computer in the company and sell them to many people all over the world. 1 year later, he he together decided to found an Apple company, a personal computer company named Apple to build, to create, and sell the personal computer on the market. This company went on the market very recently. In 1977, there was a huge success come to this company. They certainly has mass market and many sellers and also the customers buy at the store and use it at home in very pervasively. And consequently, Apple is one of the most mass-produced personal computer company in the world. When he was 25, he was become a millionaire due to the success of Apple initially. Steve Jobs is a brilliant human, a brilliant businessman, but he, but in contrast, he not get on with, get well with people and workers in their own company. He always followed the perfection. He obsessed with the perfection, and this created a problems to Apple. So he find a way to solve it, to get to the bottom of it. In the year of 1985, he left the Apple first and created a new Apple company named Pixar. Pixar is trying to develop CGI, which name is computer generated reality system, is attempt to inanimate the films. And Jobs is was just a person to have the Pixar. And after 10 years, the initial success has come to the Pixar, where when the Toy Story, one of the famous animation that all the children know about this film, has released. This is the first film that is fully computer generated animated films. And this Toy Story is part one is become a big hit and will create and have Pixar become a profitable company in the world. So At this time, Jobs is very extremely rich man. In fact, 10 years later, when he's come to the make the decision of leaving Apple, he's always find a way to learning a lot of work with people or workers on placement in the company, and also the way to running a company in a business. After a learning process and apprenticeships at Pixar, he returned to Apple at 25 at 2005. He returned and made some myriad of changes with his far long sight vision. Without Jobs, the Apple cannot do well, but a vision of Steve Jobs, is that personal computing is not only to be useful, but also we can create some beautiful, graceful objects, applying and integrate with computers to make the customers or the user to enjoy of working and using it. So in the 1998, iMac has released as a new desktop computer, and in the next year, iBook also released after that very consequently at pretty consecutively with a new laptop. There's a new laptop of very attractive and most well-known in the world. And this is lead to the consequence of a profitable company named Apple in the second time. Well, but job wasn't finished. He has a bigger vision that personal computer is a hub of digital wise the center. And so in the town in 2001, Steve Jobs has led to introduce an Apple digital hub strategies. He says that to the world that computers is half of all electronic equipments like videos, well, recorder, photos, while integrate with cameras, music, while using iTunes, iPhotos, iMovies, and also some software or apps applications that Apple can release and develop. Wow. And this Microsoft and 6 years after, the one that makes your vision reality is the creative products named iPod quickly become the most popular music player, and the real explosion is upcoming in 2007 when iPhone is introduced to all of the world. It's like many computers, and it's the integration of iPod, camera, and a phone all in one device, and you can only hold it in a hand. Well, 2 years after, continue continuing and continuing the success of iPhone, iPad was developed to and introduced to the in myriad of customers. You only to touch screen to use it in the whole hand. And the final vision of Jobs before he died in October 2017 is the creation of Apple iCloud. This system allows the customers and the Apple users to store and manage the huge of data in Apple apps, not only in the computer, but also in all of the internet wireless. Well, finally, in the conclusion, Steve Jobs not only changed our world in just on time, but also he has a far and also the pretty far vision to change for all of the era.